Hello traders, this is Igor from FX YouTube channel, and today we'll learn something new about Bollinger Bands. And first we'll learn how to set the Bollinger Bands on the MT4. First, if we watch a MT MetaTrader 4 chart, we can learn to add Bollinger Bands indicator in following way. First, you go to indicator list, then you go to trend, and then here from the top you will have Bollinger Bands. So indicator list, trend, Bollinger Bands. Of course, you can do the same thing if you go to insert, indicators, trend, Bollinger Bands. So you can do this on two ways. I prefer this one, the fastest one, trend, Bollinger Bands, and here you can define period, deviation, and this is all. These two information are just enough. Most usually, deviation is important if you want to know how wider your Bollinger Band you want to look like. And period, it's a period of time that you want to watch. If your daily chart you have a 20, it means 20 days. Right now, this is the standard settings for Bollinger Bands, 22. 20 period, deviation 2. Okay, and right now you have a Bollinger Band. John Bollinger, creator of the Bollinger Bands, defines this as a technical analysis tool that they're a type of trading band or envelope. Bollinger Bands use statistical measure known as a standard deviation. You just see the chart right now that establish where a band of likely support or resistance level might lie. This is a specific utilization of a broader concept known as a volatility channel. So Bollinger Band is some kind of volatility channel. Volatility channel plots lines above and below the central measure of price. And these lines, also known as bands, widen or contract according to how volatile or non-volatile a market is. So Bollinger Bands measure, I will repeat this, Bollinger Bands measure market volatility and provide lots of useful information. For now, there are 4 information that you can get from Bollinger Band chart. The first one, trend, is it continuation or reversal? Right now, we can see some kind of a continuation trend. Periods of market consolidation. You can see on the chart periods when market is some kind of sideway, neither bullish, neither bearish. Periods of upcoming large volatility breakouts. You can see that moments when these bands so close to each other, like in the June 2021, for example, like here, at the moment before the volatility and then strong volatility in bullish and bearish trend, and possible market tops and bottoms and potential price targets. So, like I said, 4 things: trend, periods of market consolidation, upcoming large volatility, breakout, and on the end, possible market tops or bottoms and potential price targets. So this is the important thing that we need to know what we can get from the Bollinger Band. What is the thing that you can see right now on the chart? You see green lines. Let me give the names. The upper band shows a level that is statistical high or expensive. The lower band shows a level that is statistical low or cheap. So the Bollinger Band width correlates to the volatility of the market. So this is because the standard deviation increases as the price ranges widen and decrease in narrow trading ranges. Now we can make one important conclusion about Bollinger Bands, and this is this: in a more volatile market, Bollinger Bands widen, and in a less volatile market, the bands narrow. When we talk about settings, I will just open again just to see right now Bollinger Band settings. You see period deviation. So there is an end period for moving averages, an upper band at k times of n period standard deviation above the moving average. So we have moving average plus that standard deviation. And the lower band at k times and an n period standard deviation below the moving average. So we have a moving average minus standard deviation. And in this way, we create Bollinger Band. So what we can add more here about upper, middle, and lower bands. When you talk about usually, a lot of ways that you can form this, we know 22, but there is other things. You can put 50 periods with 2-point standard deviation. I will just try to show how that looks. 50 periods, and here put 2.5. Look this. It's a little bit crazy. Just a moment. I will remove the first one. Just a moment. To see how that looks. Yes, I keep this. As you can see, this is for traders that want to have a wider Bollinger Band. So you can use 20 period 2 deviations, and this is another settings that if you want a wider range to trade, you can use this. It's a 50 periods with 2.5 standard deviation, and that means that upper band is created when we add on 50 days simple moving average 2.5 standard deviation, and middle band is a 50 days simple moving average, and the lower band is a 50-day simple moving average minus 2.5 standard deviation. So this is the very, very simple way how we can look. And another settings that we can set here, if you want to change the standard one, I like standard, but if you want to change that, can be 10 and 1.5. You will look very soon how that looks like. This is if you want, for example, to see some narrow bands, but this is maybe for people who scalp or trade on some time frames like 1 minute, 5 minute charts and so on. It's not for longer term positional trading, but of course you can choose, you can test, it's up to you. And on the end, I want to show another strategy about the Bollinger Bands that people can use. It's a double Bollinger Bands strategy. How that strategy looks like. You just put 2 indicators. The first one, let be standard, 22. And you add another Bollinger Band. I will change the color to be, for example, red. 21, and now look like this, and this value is similar to alligator indicator, but in this way you can tell that if the price above the middle line and, for example, between the upper band and two upper bands, we can talk about some strong bullish trend, and it's a price in 2 lower bands, we can talk about bearish trend. And a lot of people use this kind of strategy when they want to define strong and weak bullish and bearish trends. So this is another idea, but I want to tell you that try to keep the standard way, 20 period 2 as a standard deviation. I think it's enough, but if you want to make some tests, you can try this, and this is all. So thank you a lot for your time. This is it, and bye bye.